Good evening. Hello, it's Bec and Deb here. Afternoon, evening. And welcome to our live show.
Oh dear, sorry. Just before we came on, my chair had
Deb was down here somewhere. And before we hit record, Deb had to lift her chair up.
I did.
So that she looks the same height as me.
I looked about like I looked like I came up to your shoulder. Anyway, serious business ladies, get on with the show.
Well, we hope you missed us last week.
Absolutely.
We had my grandparents, Deb's parents, here for the week for the first time, and as you can imagine, for months and months and months.
It was really lovely.
So we gave ourselves a day off, didn't we?
We did.
We had a lovely week with them. But here we are back this week, and we've got a great show lined up for you. We're going to talk about the secret of love as our topic, and we're going to answer the question, can I care too much? But before we get on with that, as always, we love to tell you about what's coming up, and we have a fantastic offer for you this week. If you haven't seen us somewhere already in the last week or so,
you must be living under a rock if you've not seen us popping up somewhere.
Because we have got next Tuesday, we have our first live call on Relationship School Live, and we will be live all the way through September and October. It's catching. All the way through September and October, we will be live on Relationship School. And we have just come up with about a week ago, we came up with a fantastic offer, and we've been sharing it everywhere to have you join us so that you can get involved as well, because it's a great program.
Oh, it is. We absolutely love Relationship School, and Relationship School is all about you. It's all about you learning about you. If you are ready to wake up and learn about your spiritual nature, the gift of being human, and that beautiful place of balance in between where you can live an inspired life, Relationship School is for you. And like Bec said, we've got a really great offer, because we would like all the children and everything are going back to school this week, and they're seeing their friends again. So we didn't want you to be at school without your friends. So we've got an offer all about bringing your friends to Relationship School. So if you're already you were in with us in April and May, bring your friends along. If you've not joined yet, join and bring your friends with you. So what's the offer, Bec?
Yeah, so the offer is Relationship School at full price is £495. But if you take us up on this offer, you get to bring your friend, and you both pay £395. So you get £100 off. And you also get a 45-minute one-to-one with one of us, and so does your friend. And you also get a £20 Amazon voucher, and so does your friend. So there's a lot to be said. And it's absolutely fine if you want to bring yourself as your own best friend.
Absolutely.
Because we absolutely encourage start with you, be your own best friend.
We do. It's all about you.
But if you also want to bring a friend with you, then you can both take advantage of that offer. Just get in touch, either comment below wherever you're watching this video, or you can drop us an email, dareforyou@gmx.co.uk. and we'll send you your personalised coupon, and you can get involved in Relationship School. There's already loads happening in there. It's just amazing, the membership area.
Yeah, there absolutely is. Because I know when both Bec and I came across this understanding that we share with you, the place where we were both, it just so happened, and you can struggle anywhere in your life, but the place where we were really struggling with was with relationships. And that all started, and any struggles really that we're having, whatever it is, however that shows up in you, your struggles, all of it is because we don't know the truth of who we are. We don't really know ourselves. We don't understand how life works and how this amazing gift of being human comes about. And we've got into trouble. We've got ourselves into a mess in that way. And so all the things that we learned that totally changed everything in our lives it's all packed into Relationship School. There's a lot in there. It's a very simple journey, and you don't have to look at all of it if you don't want to. But once you're in there, the members area, the bits that you can see there, they're yours for as long as you want them. So it's a really great way to take this journey, and you can take it at your own pace.
So come and get involved. Come back to school with us next week. We'd love to have you with us.
We would. We'd really love to have you there with us.
Yeah. So on with the show. Our question, which should have been last week, which is now this week, is, can I care too much? And this question came off the back of, we did it about a month, maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago, a 5-day challenge around self-love. And one of the things that came up during that challenge for people, we were kind of asking people to share something about themselves that's kind of a nice thing, something they like about themselves. And a few people actually shared that they're very caring, which is obviously a very lovely and nice thing to be. But there was kind of this almost, I care, and then I get really weighed down with that and wear myself out and feel exhausted. And it almost became it feels like it's something that should be a nice thing about myself, but actually it becomes a burden. And so we wanted to kind of talk a little bit around that. And that's why we kind of have this as our question today, because we can very, very easily misunderstand what caring really is when it's kind of where it's coming from in us and what that means, because that kind of place where we go to when we feel burdened by that, that's giving us a little clue as to what's going on for us. So the kind of answer, the question, can I care too much, is really about how do you feel when you're in that space of caring about someone? Because what you're feeling is giving you a clue as to where you're at with that. And I think we can very easily get into that almost martyr headspace.
It's really, really easy. And I know one of the things, this might hit up in some of you, this might, and feel free to send us questions to comment if this does, but I know one of the things that I saw around this was that I could get into that space with my children. I would feel like I needed to, I'm their mom, I need to look after them, I need to make sure everything's okay for them. And one of the things that I hadn't really seen was that hidden in there. And when it became that painful thing, when it became something that was difficult, that I felt like that I gave and gave and gave and didn't get anything back, and I was exhausted and it didn't feel like a good thing, what I realized was that what was going on for me was that I wanted my children to be okay so that I could feel okay. That was hidden in there. And I see that a lot in people. And I think the reason that I mention it around my children is because I think a lot of us have this idea of, you can see that with other people, or you can see that even in a relationship with your partner. You can see that, maybe I want them to feel okay so that I feel okay. But with our children, it can be a really difficult one to see through it, and to see that actually the reason that we don't want our children to suffer is because when our children suffer, we hurt. And it's not actually about our children, it's about us. And that is a really hard one to swallow. And I know when I've shared that at retreats and places, that really hits up against something in people, and they come back with, no, but I really do care about my children. No, I need to care about my children. I need to do this in this way. And like Bec said, that feeling it's actually a little bit of an alarm clock in you we can get into that, and that feeling can really make us think that we're right, that we're on the right track, and we can feel really passionate about, and I have to, and I must. But all those kinds of feelings are actually trying to send us in the opposite direction. And I know that can be quite a hard thing to swallow. And as I said, if that's bringing something up for you, feel free to comment, to be in touch, to speak to us. Because one of the first things that I did after coming across this, one of the first ways I shared what we had seen was in something called the Warrior's Journey. And one of the reasons that I called it the Warrior's Journey was because sometimes it takes courage to look in this direction. Sometimes it takes courage to see things that when we're caring in that way, and exactly like Bec said, in that challenge, people would start saying it should be, caring for somebody should be, and I'm being nice, I'm doing something good, I'm the one here that's doing something really nice, but it doesn't turn out that way. I don't feel great about it. What's going on there? And I keep caring more and more and more, and being nicer and nicer and nicer, and I'm just, it feels worse and worse. And it's really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. I can remember, it's some time ago now, but regularly Deb comes up with new ways of saying things, and then for a while that's kind of, she says it and kind of shares it in that way for a while, and then something new comes. And I remember there was a period of time where we were talking, and Deb would often say, caring gets in the way.
Yes.
And kind of when you first say that, it sounds a little bit brutal. And if anyone's ever met Deb, you'll absolutely know that she is one of the most caring people you could ever meet. Oh. But what you start to see when you look at that statement is what we're pointing to is caring gets in the way when it's coming from the wrong place.
Yeah.
And we often talk about a lot of things on a kind of pendulum, and I think caring is one of those things that sits really well on a pendulum swing. Like there's this place where you can go to where you almost overcare, where it's coming from this urgent, desperate need to fix someone else so that you feel okay. Or there's that I don't give a flying monkey, and you're over here and don't care or help or looked at to be nice in any way at all. And then of course there's this place in the middle, and we often talk about that as being in service to what serves.
Yeah.
And for me, what that really needs is getting to know myself, so that when something's in front of me, I can turn up and be of service or care from a place of, what's the word I'm looking for, that's just unextinguishable in me, that can't ever run out. There's something about us that is just eternal. And when I'm caring from that place, there is no burden in that. I'm just looking out for somebody, or turning up, or doing what's making sense without it being all the way over here or all the way over here on the pendulum swing. It's actually from that sweet spot in the middle, where I just care from this overflowing well of love and eternal essence that we are. I notice when I move over into caring too much. I notice that because my body and my feelings tell me I've overstepped the mark. I've gone into that place of, I need to fix them so I feel okay.
We don't even recognise it as that.
I
know initially, I mean, I think we know that we've moved over into, I want to fix that person so I feel okay. But it didn't used to look like that to me. I used to have the feeling that I need to fix that person so that they're okay.
Yeah.
I had it was hidden to me that actually it was about me. That was totally hidden. And I think this is the thing, when we are looking at caring and it's feeling like it feels like it's taxing us, it feels like it's too much, it feels like we're too sensitive, it feels like we're too empathetic, it feels like, we take on other people's stuff. That's because we're caring from a place of believing that if that person isn't okay, we're not okay. But we don't recognize it as that. And that to me is one of the reasons why this is a bit of a warrior's journey, because it is about being honest with ourselves and having the courage to look and see and say, yes, I want this person to be okay so that I am okay. And then seeing what you were pointing to there, that place where we are infinite, seeing that we have that place and so does that person. And they have that in them, even if it appears that they're not okay. I know it can be really difficult when we watch the people that we love the most struggling and suffering. We've all done it. We've all been there, watched somebody and known what the answer is and really wanted to dive in and save them. But then we do go to that place of feeling exhausted when we come from there. But when we begin to recognize actually how this works is come back to you and find your okayness within you. That is the biggest gift you can give someone else, because then we're not caring. That's when I say caring gets in the way, because it's a hopeless task when we try to fix what's going on within us by fixing what's going on out there. But when we care in that way, it totally gets in the way of everybody's okayness, ours and the person we're trying to care for.
So hopefully that just answers that question a little bit. But like Deb said at the beginning, if this brings up anything for you, get in touch, because we know that sometimes answering a question in sort of 10 minutes isn't quite enough, and there's more perhaps that brings up for you. So do be in touch. We're very accessible if you've got any questions off the back of that.
Absolutely.
We'd be happy to talk some more. So our topic this week is the secret of love. And this was...
I love secrets.
Yeah, we love sharing secrets because they're not really secrets. You already know. But this was actually inspired, the topic was inspired by this wonderful book that we keep right next to our desk. And as you can tell from all the bookmarks, we regularly look at and refer to this beautiful book. It's a book by Laurie Carpenos and Christine Heath. And it's a fantastic little collection of kind of stories, relationship stories and real life examples, and how they've kind of had different experiences of relationships and love because of this understanding that we share. And so we just shamelessly stole the topic from this book.
So we thought we would give it a plug.
So, we'll give it a plug because we love Laurie and Christine. And we thought actually what we would start with is just reading out. There's a beautiful little quote at the beginning of one of the sections. The section is called The Secret of Love. And this is a Sydney Banks quote. It's all a matter of sharing, loving and caring, never intentionally hurting your partner in any way. This is what I would call love. And this alone will create a healthy relationship. And then on the next chapter, it talks about love being a spiritual gift. And that, I think we just kind of wanted to start from there as like our topic really today. Like that's what this is. The secret of love is seeing that love is a spiritual gift. And, to kind of go back to what we were talking about in the last question a little bit, it's the very essence of what we are. And kind of just being as loving and gentle and genuine as we can with our partner, or to take it a step further, whoever it is we're in a relationship with, whether that's our children, our work colleagues, generally family, friends. When we turn up from knowing that we are that spiritual gift of love, it just everything becomes healthier.
And what you're saying there, what I'm hearing, what you're saying there is exactly what we were pointing to in the question, is that the way that it appears, it's actually the opposite way around. Because I know when I was in a relationship before, when I was in my not so healthy relationship, I'd always had this idea growing up, and it seems to me every song that I listen to points us in this direction, is that love is something that we get from someone else. When we meet the perfect person, we'll feel love. When we look at our new baby, we'll be filled with love. The baby will create this love in us. When we have a really good friendship, the love will come because of the person we're in a friendship with. It feels we're given this message continually that love is something that we are not, but that we can acquire, that we can get, that we can somehow find and then have. It's something we have to get. And exactly what you were saying, Bec, when we come from the exact opposite and we see we are love, that's what we are, that's the essence, that's the ingredient that we are made from. And every time you have ever felt any love at all, that has nothing whatsoever to do with anyone else. That comes from within you. Which is why we point people a lot to self-love. I know on our spiritual journey, if people have gone deeply into the spiritual stuff, and what it points to is that there isn't truly a separate I, and totally. But from this perspective, if we see that love is who we are, love is what comes through us, when we see it from that, when we are in our human experience, when we're having a human experience, when there is somebody sitting next to you or somebody you're in a relationship with, if you see that all love is self-love, all love comes through you, that's a totally different way to approach life, to come at every relationship. And that is when magic really starts to happen.
And I think like the secret of love, what that kind of is pointing to there is that love is already within you. Yeah. And the reason it's kind of termed a secret in my mind is because you can't tell it. Like we're sitting here talking about it, but you'll only understand that from within. It's not something, like I can hand that book to Deb, but she, and she can take that from, but she won't know the secret of love until she's seen it from within, and neither would I, and neither will you. The reason we kind of talk about it almost as though it's a secret is because with all the eloquent, fantastic words and all the YouTube shows in the world, you'll know this when you know it from within. I can't kind of give that to you in quite the way that we think we can when we talk like this. It kind of, it almost appears as though, if I say enough words, you'll get it. You'll know something you didn't know before. But because that love is within you, you have to know that from within too. And it can feel like a secret when we're talking in this way. It's like, well, why don't you just tell me what the answer is? And it is just to, in whatever way makes sense to you, look within, find that within you, know that about yourself. And that's how you kind of get to know a secret, is by exploring for yourself what is love, it's you, and it's already within you. Like Deb said, every experience of love you've ever had can only be happening because it's coming from within you. And then we make the sort of almost foolish mistake of putting it on someone else or something else, and then expecting that we'll only feel that if that person or that situation is in front of us. But the more we kind of look, well, can that be within me? Is it available now, even here? The more that we get to see that and experience that.
And that's, I think, one of the key words, an experience. We've all experienced love. You wouldn't be, if you were old enough to be listening to this and making any sense of it at all, even if there's a child running around, you will have experienced love. And it will appear that we've experienced it because of someone else or because of something else. But if you just sit where you are now and imagine somebody or something that you truly love that isn't with you at this moment, that isn't, I can sit here excuse me, and think of my partner, and I'm sure Bec can do the same, and I can, right here now, I can feel an immense love for him. As I think of him, I can picture his face, I can picture things he says, he's in my mind right now as I'm saying that, and I can feel love for him. Equally, sometimes if I'm annoyed with him and he's, we might be doing a show like this, and I might be annoyed with him, and that might be going on in the back of my mind. I might be feeling something else towards him other than that deep connection and love. But what we see from that experience, if you've just done that, if you just joined me there and thought of someone who isn't with you in this moment that you love, I bet that you filled up with that feeling. They're not even here. They're not even in the room with you. And yet you can have that feeling. And that is a small experience. That is a small example of how love is, who you are, how it comes from within you. Because when you do that, you can feel that, whether they're there or whether they're not. And that points us towards the truth of that. And with all things, with all secrets, it's like if we were telling you here how to ride a bike, if we were giving you really, really great spot-on instructions of everything that you have to do to balance and ride a bike, until you actually get a bike and turn those pedals and sit there and have that feeling, it's a secret from you. What that actually feels like, what that actually is, we can't give you that experience. You have to have it. So it's really handy to be in this conversation. It's really great to do this. But one of the reasons that Bec and I, we're always giving you little challenges to do. We're always playing around with this. We're always inviting you to go out in life and see what we see for yourself. Don't take our word for it. Is because it never occurred to me that I didn't get love from other people. That never occurred to me. Then when somebody said that, I was like, no, I don't think so. I get love from my children, I get love from my partner. But I got curious, and then I did things like I just said then, I thought about my partner or someone that I loved, and actually I can get that feeling whether he's here or whether he's not. And I got curious, and that's when secrets reveal themselves from within you. That's how we go inside. Just stopping for a minute and imagining that person that's going inside, and just playing around, which Bec and I do all the time, is how you get to have those experiences and see these things for yourself. And that's when life changes.
I'm going to do something we've never done on our YouTube show before. I'm going to make this an official challenge. So if you're with us and you're watching this, that's your challenge for the next week. Before we're back on our show next week, I want you to just go out in the world and be love. Notice how many places you can feel love without anything or anyone having to be different to what is right now. Just go out and see how many places you can be curious and experience love right here in this moment. Whether your partner's there or not, whether your children are running around screaming or not, whether you're queuing in a really long line at the supermarket, whatever's happening, just be curious. Is it possible in this moment to notice the secret of love is actually within you already.
I love that. Wow.
Yeah, it just came to me.
And I know that is very
that
much, and I know that is very much the kind of thing that we do. It will just be, we'll be in the middle of something, life, just busily doing life, and you feel frustrated. I know I do that kind of thing when I'm at my computer sometimes, and it's not doing what I want it to do, and the printer won't print and stuff's happening, and then it's like, can I feel the love here in this moment? And it just takes you to a different place, doesn't it? It's great. Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Go and find the secret of love and let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. If you watch this, come back and comment or message us. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're all over the place. So find us somewhere and let us know whether you did the challenge and how you got on. That'd be great.
Yeah. So next week, our topic, we're going to talk next week about domestic abuse. That's a topic that's fairly close to our hearts and something that we like to have conversations about, because it's one of those things that, for me, it's like the more we explore in this conversation, the more we get different experiences. So that's our topic next week. And our question next week is, why should I be the one to change?
Yeah, that's something, isn't it, that's come up a few times when we're talking to people. Yeah. It's like, yeah, but they do this and they do that. Why has it got to be me?
Yeah. So we will see you next week, and hopefully see you on Relationship School.
Yeah, go on, join Relationship School. We'd love to have you with us. Take
Thanks
care.
very
Have
much
a great
for joining
week.
us.
Bye.